I'm Kelly. Not only do I make it my mission to bring fitness to people on a daily basis, but I make it my mission to do so no matter where they are, whether it's at home, whether it's the office, or whether it's the summer cottage. Join me, and I'll show you how it is I do what I do. Just getting ready for another workout. But before you even get to the point of having a workout, first, you want to have what's called an assessment. So what is an assessment, you might ask? Simply put, it's your opportunity to find out from your body what it is you need to be doing, what it is your body can do, what it can't do, and what you should focus on for the time being. Should you choose to have an assessment with me or with another practitioner, you just want to make sure that they take the opportunity to find out about your background, your history, what you deal with on a daily basis, and also what you like and what you want to accomplish. It's also something that you want to find out from that practitioner what it is they're going to do to help you and who it is they are. Regardless of what path you take to finding out what it is your body needs, just make sure you find out. So what I really like about the way Marshall is doing this exercise is that he's doing it slowly and deliberately enough to really listen to his body. Now that's going to do two things. First of all, it's going to make the exercise harder. He's going to get more out of it. But secondly, he's doing it in such a way that he can feel if anything is hurting while he's doing it. The last thing that we would ever want to do, whether it's in fitness or in life for that matter, is do something in such a way that it's going to cause an injury.
Trainers, know your limitation, because if you don't know yours, how are you going to help us out?
I can relate to a lot of people who have been through an injury or are still recovering from one because I myself have actually been through a fair number of injuries. The longest one to recover from being my ACL reconstruction. And the number one thing that taught me was, first of all, how to make sure we value our bodies and take better care of it and become more motivated to do so after. But also, every step I take at this point, I'm always listening to my body and I'm always trying to make sure, is it okay with this? Does it like what I'm doing? That's something that my clients really need to learn how to do, is simply ask their body. It's always going to tell you if it likes what you're doing or if it doesn't. And so the better that they can learn to understand that correlation and to apply it not only in their exercise but also in all the things that they're doing as they live their day, then they're going to be a lot better off and a lot less likely to have an injury recur. Okay, so the exercise I'm going to be showing you today is called the fly crunch. Now, what do I love about the fly crunch? Everybody wants a fun way to target their abdominals. So this exercise is going to get at your lower abdominal, your upper abdominal, and even access your chest muscles too. A couple key points to remember is that you want to make sure your back stays as flat as it can throughout the entire exercise and that your lower back doesn't hurt. Secondly, you want to make sure your face stays parallel with the ceiling throughout the entirety of the exercises while we're crunching them. And with that being said, we're going to have Marshall here demonstrate how it's done. So as you can see, Marshall's keeping his back nice and flat against the mat. I can't fit my hand under here at all. And as he crunches, he's also keeping his face parallel with the ceiling and he's not arching his neck or his shoulders too much. He's just using his stomach. Now, if you find while you're doing this that you can't really do it in such a way that your back stays flat or that your back hurts, you can bend your knees. So go ahead and bend your knees, Marshall. Good. And if this doesn't take the lower back distress away or make it so that your back flattens, then this exercise may not be for you or you just may not be ready for it yet. Good. And two more. 2 and 1. Awesome. Great job. Now, in order to take this exercise from an endurance perspective to a whole new component to add strength, you gotta come and see me.
Workouts are great, but who really has all that time? 32-year-old Felix asks, so I've been working out practically all my life, and I'm going to do so until I'm laid in my grave. So what's up with all these people that don't work out? What the heck is their excuse? Well, Felix, let's ask our fitness correspondent Kelly and see what she knows. Kelly?
I think one of the most important components to any particular fitness goal is consistency. Of course, reasons for being inconsistent vary from person to person, but a big factor for a lot of people is time. I approach this firstly by reminding my clients that in life, we will never find the time for anything. If we really want time for something, we must make it. Nutritionally, people often fall behind because they just didn't prepare to have the right things available to eat to them. When you plan ahead, the odds that you're going to be stuck having an unbalanced meal or eating something that you shouldn't are a lot further and farther between. As far as workouts are concerned, I remind my clients that anything is better than nothing. A lot of times people will skip over an entire opportunity to work out just because they don't think they have the time or the energy for the entire routine. Now, while it is very important not to take shortcuts, if they just maintain an attitude to do whatever they can instead of nothing, the odds are they'll find they really had a lot more time than they thought, and they'll stay more consistent overall.
Thanks, Kelly. With any informed decision, just remember that while choosing something enjoyable is great, you also have to keep in mind that if you have time to complain about not being fit and healthy, then you definitely have time to do something about it. And now you know.
That's a hard exercise. It took me a long time to perfect that exercise and to even begin to be able to do it and make it look like I can do it well. But that doesn't really discourage me because we very often find out that we're capable of a whole lot more than we ever imagined. I have a client that I have worked with and am still currently working with who has really taught me this. It was actually her father who originally got in touch with me, and she was the victim of a spinal cord injury from a car accident many years ago. And when they contacted me, she hadn't done any rehabilitative therapy in over 10 years. So my first instinct was that I wasn't really experienced enough to be working with somebody in her position, but I always associate with peers in the industry who have more experience than me, and they were able to help me see that as long as I stuck to the foundation of my field and that I didn't overpromise anything, that I could be of help to her. So I put together a program for her, and it was slow going in the beginning, but one day I looked down at her hand and she was able to move her hand in a way that I'd never seen her do before. And I went out on a limb and I said, why don't you go ahead and try to make your hand into a fist? And she did it. Her hand, it took a moment, but she actually made a fist with her hand. Now, it may not seem like a big deal, but this was a person who had been told that they would never move anything from the neck down for the rest of their life. And she hadn't done that motion in over 10 years. And it just came from only 2 or 3 months of foundational strength training. And it just is a moment that I'm never, ever going to forget. I remember saying to her, I didn't know that you could do that. And she goes, neither did I. And you can really surprise yourself if you don't put any limits on yourself. You never know what can happen. The body is capable of amazing transformations. And if somebody in her position can overcome what she did and overcome the odds that she did, I always think, what does that say about what the rest of us are really capable of? So I hope you're able to see that regardless of what you're doing, whether it's working out or just going through your day-to-day activities, make sure you always ask your body what it likes. Because as long as you always work with it and never against it, you're going to be capable of bringing yourself through an amazing transformation. Now it's time for me to continue on my own transformation. I'm Kelly, and I train.